Hi everyone, so this week's tour swing analysis is going to be of Bryson Dechambeau. Now, Bryson has gained a hell of a lot of distance very publicly in his game over the last couple of years. Mainly a lot of his training he did by utilising lockdown. On the left-hand side of the swing here from 2017, I believe, where his club head speed will be in the region of 114, 115 miles an hour, which sits at the moment around about the tour average. On the right here is his swing from the recent long drive event, which was incredible for him to enter a world long drive event and reach top 8 in his first go as a tour player, having I think he finished the Ryder Cup on the Sunday and flew there on the Monday to compete that week, which was an incredible achievement. So what I wanted to do was, and the idea of all these analyses is just looking at things that you can potentially learn to help your game. So lots of things are going on in Bryson's swing as to how he's created more power. But we're going to just kind of look at a few that are more obvious, and they're going to be the easier, quicker gains, if you like, for your game potentially. Now, if we look at setup, okay, his basic swing DNA is very, very similar. One thing you will also notice here on the right is a wider stance in his swing on the right-hand side compared to the left, okay? Something else you're going to see, unfortunately, the swing on the left catches just kind of as he's taking the club away, so we don't get to see too much of what happens before his swing. However, on the right, you'll see really lots of movement going on, pretty fidgety. There's no kind of stillness. He's really getting his body ready to react. Think of a tennis player on the other side of the net ready to receive a serve. Okay, you're ready to move. Whereas on the left, although we haven't got that image, I guarantee you he would be far more static. Now, something you're really going to see here. Again, unfortunately, these videos, the cameras aren't on tripods. They're handheld, so things may move around. These lines won't be exact. But what you'll see here in his takeaway, watch this big extension, this big push away. If you watch the logo on his cap there, there's this real extend move. Whereas on the left, the club head and the body work as a unit together. Now, something you're going to see, and a big thing for creating power, is that the body moves first and the club travels. Rather than we've often been told, it goes club head, hands, shoulders, hips in the backswing, and then it reverses and comes hips, shoulders, hands, club head in the downswing. The way your body moves, and if you're going to move anything with any power or with any speed, okay, our natural movement pattern will always go back to the strongest position, which will be body first, starts from the ground, hips, shoulders, hands, then the club. Now, you'll see that on the right here. His body will make a big, big shift before the club even moves. Now that's giving him power to drag that club away far quicker. The momentum of this is going to take him into a much, much bigger, fuller backswing. Okay, so we've got a real big, long turn here, okay, compared to on the left-hand side. Again, very stable, very static. He was already a very good player at this point. But if we would look at shoulder turn, you'll really see the difference in the shoulder turn, how much his body's moved, how much his hips have turned. You'll see a release of his lead foot, okay, in the long drive swing. Now, this release of the foot and the timing of this is something I want you to really think about. Now, for those of you that release the left foot, this is by no means a bad thing, okay? It's going to help you, and it helps Bryson here free up his hip turn. However, the timing of when you replant that is important. What you'll see here and what creates a massive amount of power, if you imagine you've got an elastic band going all the way around here from the club head to the foot. You're stretching that band as you go back, creating that elastic energy. Now, what you're going to see here is that as that club is going back, stretching that band even further, his foot starts to replant at the same time. So you've got the club going backwards and the foot going down and towards the target. That's just adding even more stretch into this band down here, creating that potential for it to spring back and recoil into the golf ball. Okay, so we said foot up is a really good move, but make sure it's the first thing to go down, and it goes down late backswing, not early downswing. That's going to help him really have more of a sink into the ground. So you'll see how his body now, it rose in the backswing early, it now lowers early. Okay, on the left, again, there'll be a little bit of lowering because that's a natural movement to create some speed, but nowhere near as much. Well, with all of this stretch, okay, in that elastic band being stretched by the foot and the club going opposite directions and the sinking of his body, he's going to create incredible angles in through here, okay, which again is potential that if he can get rid of that angle by impact, he's going to create a hell of a lot of speed. Whereas obviously in 2017-18, it's in a more traditional position. And what you'll also notice when he comes back to impact, okay, impact positions, they don't quite match up here, but again, the structure of his swing is very, very similar. His feet are still on the ground at this point, okay, and the structure of his arms and his body are very similar, which is why he can hit a lot of fairways. Now, from here, it'll be very different. The old swing, stable, moving through. He's got less power. So his club is swinging at 114 miles an hour, so he's only got 114 miles an hour to try and slow down. The key with the body, or a roll of the body, is that we have to accelerate the club, but you've also got to decelerate it. Okay, so now he's got 140, 144 miles an hour to try and stop. So he's got an extra 30 miles an hour. Now what you'll see is, as he goes through, all those forces into the ground will push him up and out the ground. And now as he goes through, you'll see how his feet, his hip starts to come back. His feet are out of the ground. He's very, very light in his ground reaction force at this point because he's utilised them and timed them correctly. Okay, so very, very similar DNA, but lots of big things to create more power. So, my advice for you guys and girls, okay? Wider stance. That's going to give you more of a base to kind of turn from, okay? Also in your setup, allow yourself to be fluid. Allow yourself to be moving, okay? We want to be dynamic. So if we're going to create a dynamic swing, we don't want to start statically, okay? From there, allow that lead foot to come up to create this extra turn, but make sure that it replants late in the backswing, not early in the downswing. Okay? Now from there, carry on through the shot. Okay? Big full follow through. And don't worry too much if you start to lose balance a little bit at the end of your swing when you're pushing speed. When you go onto the golf course, okay, we all know Bryson, he will have much more of a stable finish because he will only be swinging at 132 miles an hour rather than 144. He's swinging less than his potential, okay? If your feet start to move around, it's not necessarily a bad thing, okay? Try and hold your finish for the golf course, but if you're pushing speed and you're trying to get faster, don't worry if you start to lose balance a little bit at the end, okay? You're trying to get your body uncomfortable in moving faster than it's used to. The more you do that, the more your body will learn and your balance will improve, okay? Similar to if you were standing on one leg on the floor and then you make it more difficult by standing on a cushion on one leg, okay? You're trying to make the task harder so your body then learns. Great stuff. So, well done, everyone. Really enjoying doing some of these swing reviews, so look out for more to come, but hopefully this is going to help you gain a little bit of speed this winter, and any speed change you want to try and get, okay, make sure that it complements what else you're trying to do in your swing. Cheers, see you soon, bye.